my God! Here he is, brighter than the burning sun. Here's Mick.
Good evening, and here we are for another interesting couple of minutes of mayhem and anarchy. If you saw my last episode about penguin poop, then I did promise that I'd get back about giants. Are they real or are they not real? So I've done some research and I've checked it up and found out and looked through everything to come up with some interesting information. So from this, you can either, it may change your mind. You might go, oh, they're real. Or they might go, no, load of rubbish. Right, but first of all, before I start to state this, what is a giant? Okay, a giant is somebody who's very tall. So I'm going to say a giant is over 8 foot. Now, the reason I say that is because I've got friends, and I have to take some ladders when I go and see them, but I've got friends who are up to 7'2". So, from that side, we're going to take in the average height of the modern man nowadays. It used to be a lot shorter, so I'm back in 1500s, I think, me. But it used to be about 5'6", 5'7". For Westerners. Now it's probably about 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere around that, around about the 6 foot mark. We'll say 6 foot. And we've all got those mates who are really up there at 6'4" is not unusual. 6'2" is not unusual. 6'4" still not that unusual. Anything over that, 6'5" to going up to 7 foot, quite unusual. Very noticeable characters they are if you do see them. We'd probably in jest call them giants. Right, let's start with the information. Okay, noticeable people who've mentioned giants in the past. Believe it or not, Abraham Lincoln has mentioned giants. When he was doing some talks, he actually mentioned the giants in America. I know everyone laughs and everything like, oh no, it's all got to be in America. No, but they've done a lot of research and everything like that. Now, I'm going to call him a culprit at this point, is the Smithsonian. I'm sure everyone's heard of the Smithsonian Museum. Now, the Smithsonian Museum took possession of several, if not more, giant skulls and whole bodies in some cases. And it was every week in the papers, like the New York Times in 1882. Reported one giant skull being found again in the New York Times. It was 1885, 4 this time that were buried, and they documented these things. And even there is pictures that exist showing giants with people from the Smithsonian. I presume they were either side of them anyway. They bought the particular one. It was I think 8'4" or something like that. Took a picture of it. There are pictures of these giant skulls. This is the bit that is just amazing. There are pictures, and they were in the press being discovered pretty much every other week when they were digging these giant mounds up. So they had the information, and they had the. Now, one interesting thing about giants is their teeth. Apparently, they had double rows of teeth. I don't know. I'm not going to say yes or no to it, but keep that in mind, that bit of information. Right. So we found there are literally hundreds, if not thousands, of giants being found in America. And it was everyday news. And then all of a sudden, everyone went quiet about it. So, and it has done ever since. Which is interesting, because one of the very first, after I have a bit of paper, there's that much info out there, one of the first ever cases of historical giants that were supposed to have lived is Gilgamesh. So if you know your Bible stuff, Gilgamesh was supposed to be a giant. Now, pretty much everybody agrees that he did exist. They're not sure exactly if he was a giant or not, but in all the documentation that exists and all the chippings and everything like that and the Sumerian writings, Gilgamesh did exist, and he was a big fella. So that's interesting. That's interesting. So it goes right back to pre-Christians. And a lot of these are supposed to be very old tribes, we'll call them. Which is, we know that in Africa there was the gigantism. So we know there were tribes out there that were getting up there at 8 foot. So anything over there, I mean, some of these quotes are up to 25 foot and 11 foot. So the variation is massive. I mean, 25 foot is like, wow, you know. But then, if I said that there was a bird that lived not 400 years ago, that was 8 foot tall, and basically it was flightless, and it was aggressive. Basically, if it saw you, it'd chase you, stamp on you, and eat you. Yeah, and that was the rock. So that is true. That is a true known bird. We've got the records to prove all of this. You've got the giant moa. So there's quite a lot of different birds out there. I think it was the moa. I think moa and the rock or something else. But then there was an eagle that used to prey on them. So they were massive. So imagine if that's their descendants are a chicken. So you wouldn't look at a chicken. You wouldn't run from a chicken. I'll tell you what, you'd run from this one though. Right. Right. Now, what also places where they've been found. Now it's not just America. We have records of them being found in Sicily, France particularly. They've had quite a lot in France of records of giants. Mexico, obviously tied into the Americans. So going all the way through history, there's a lot, and these are a lot of these people broadcasting information or publishing information in the 18 and 1900s. We're famous for, like, say, the New York Times, the Smithsonian, the San Antonio Express. They've got them in the London Globe. They've got reports of ones being found in France where people have found them. Tenerife has even had one found in a cave in Tenerife. So quite frankly, right now, here's the freaky stuff. So you're thinking, wow, they must have lived hundreds of years ago. How about this? In 2002, this is the story I was telling you about. Now, this is still apparently it's not censored, classed as top secret in America. It's still classified information. That's classified, that's it. A 13-foot giant with 2 rows of teeth. So why would you have that specific bit of information if it was false? I don't know. But we don't know. Maybe one day they'll tell us the truth. But a recon team went out from the American forces looking just for, I suppose, the Taliban. And they didn't come back. So they sent out a search team for them. And the search team found a large cave with scattered bits of American equipment outside and bits of blood and things like that. So anyway, before they went into the cave, out comes this 13-foot giant and spears one of them. And that's it. He's at it, right? So the rest of them shoot. Now again, if this is rubbish, this weird bits of information that tell it. Apparently they all shot this giant, I'm going to call him the guy, in the face. Why would you give that information that you shot someone in the face? It's a bit strange. Anyway, so they ploughed into his face until he was dead. And then, just like Roswell, when they went back to base and reported it, the bosses obviously went, right, okay. They sent out another team with vehicles and recovered this giant's body, and they flew it to America. So we can pretty much guess where it's going to go. It's going to go off to Los Alamos, Area 51. But then, is it true? If it is, a lot of people are going to go gulp. Wow, what information. Now remember, when I first started telling you about this, I mentioned about this second set of teeth on the ancients. Now this one from 2002 had the same thing, 2 rows of teeth. How particularly bizarre. Now the doctors know, I think I saw a program about people with 2 sets of teeth, and they said that basically it's part of the gigantism that they have these 2 sets of teeth. So there's something there. You can go and track all these down. There's so much information out there. It is ridiculous. As I say, I'm not out to do half an hour thing just about one thing. So I just give you the information. Do as you will. If you're interested, and I've piqued your interest, you can get yourself out there and start looking and everything like that. If closer to home, giants are recorded in the Bible. Yeah, and they're also so the Nephilim, I think, is in the Bible. So you've also got them mentioned in various places throughout history, and it's also mentioned in Ireland, in the old Irish Celtic books, and also in Wales. Again, giants are recorded in Welsh history, Branwen and things like this. So again, was it just somebody who was particularly tall and they wrote a story that was involved in those days, or was it a tribe? We don't know. I mean, we know in America there was a tribe of Indians that were red-headed Indians with beards. I don't know if you know this, but Indians, indigenous Indians in America some can't grow beards. It's different. Genetically, they can't get a beard. It's a little throwback, but they do know that this tribe, and they think that they may have been Vikings. Were the Vikings? Because it just so happens that this one in Afghanistan I'm telling you about, he was ginger. They reported that one. Yeah, so could it be something like that? You know, ooh. If it piques your interest, get yourself out there. It gives you something to do on nights. If you're bored or something like that, you know, just you can track down bits of information. Very interesting. There's loads out there. All right, that's all for tonight. Remember to push the little fella and subscribe. Right, good night.